most important functions of the human brain is language, our ability to communicate with each other. And this is entirely dependent on neocortex. Without the neocortex, we are not using language. We are not understanding language, and we are not producing language. So this is very much language production, language comprehension is very much a topic, an important topic of cognition. Now, we know most of what we know about language from studying humans. And that's because while other animals also have some version of communication, and in some cases some version of a language, no one has it to the extent that humans use it, and we don't actually understand dolphinese or whale-ese. We have not made headway on understanding other animals' language to the extent that we can obviously understand human language. So there are a few important concepts here, and that's what we're going to go through in this module. So if you look at the brain, and I have intentionally chosen a view of the brain that shows the left hemisphere. So this is the left hemisphere. In 90-some%, 95+% of humans have the left hemisphere as their dominant hemisphere, meaning this is the hemisphere that is required for language production. And let's just look at our basic cortical areas. This is the primary auditory cortex. It's down here in the dorsal part of the temporal lobe. Back here and around on the medial surface is the visual cortex. Here's the motor cortex. Here's the somatosensory cortex. So if you think about language, which in most humans is a verbal language that in order to comprehend, you have to use your hearing, and in order to produce, you have to use motor cortex that controls laryngeal muscles. We need to somehow get from auditory areas over to motor areas. And indeed, the way this happens is that somehow auditory information is fed into an area called Wernicke's. And Wernicke's area is responsible for understanding, comprehending language. Now, from Wernicke's, things are communicated over to Broca's area, which is not actually in the primary motor cortex, but is just in front of it. And in Broca's area, we actually produce language. So in the next segment, what we'll do is we'll look at the basic types of impairment, language impairment, that can accompany damage to either Broca's or Wernicke's, or even the communication between Broca's and Wernicke's.